Toronto's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
I don't think I heard Yadat on today. Was he off today, PA? The project?
Correct.
I thought I heard...
Nordo was in.
Nordo was back in?
Yes, vocal maintenance.
I gotcha. Okay. That's what they call it in the business. Lavelle, no vocal maintenance for him. He'll join at 5:30. Which tease do you want to pay off first?
Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
Going to give you the Caitlin Clark one first. Let's give you the injury update first. She will sit out tomorrow's
Has somebody
game.
blamed her neck for getting in the way of what's-her-name's hand?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, but we're probably not that far away. She will not play in tomorrow's game against the Los Angeles Sparks. Head coach Stephanie White told reporters today.
Egregious. Sorry, that was the term that I think Stephanie used the other night.
Remember 2 weeks ago, Stephanie White didn't like Caitlin Clark?
They almost came to blows
and vice versa?
during a scrum, during a timeout.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Clark left yesterday, or I should say Wednesday's loss to the Mercury in the third quarter because of back issues. You recall she's had kind of season-long back issues.
I'm beginning to wonder if she's a little soft. She's been hurt a lot.
Well, have you seen what they do to her every game?
You think it's related?
She wasn't hurt in college. I know that. She played a lot of games in
people
college.
Are afraid to breathe on her in college.
There's that, too. We talk about that on Enough Said tonight.
Yes, we do.
Where, speaking of evolution, my opinion of Caitlin Clark has...
You're right.
It's been winding like the Mississippi River.
I remember how cranky you were about her
between
a long time
Itasca
ago.
down to New Orleans.
Yes,
so many twists and turns. So she's not going to play. National TV game, by the way.
Ooh.
Which means half the people are going to watch it. And don't email. Christine Brennan gives us the facts on that every single day. What the viewership numbers are with Clark, without Clark. They're better than they used to be without Clark, but they're not close without her. Or vice versa. You get my point.
I do.
So that's the injury update. Stephanie White, by the way,
Has Clark herself... Well, I don't think there's been a chance to talk to her. But even after the game, was there... No, she got hurt. So my guess is they're just having her avoid the microphones thus far?
It seems like it. Yeah, she hasn't, I don't think, spoken since then. Stephanie White, by the way...
But again, this is another thing. It's like, in the NBA, it'd be impossible. Don't you think? By now...
If you leave with injury, not necessarily.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Injury, it can be a little bit different. But even on this stuff, I think there's more of a hesitation to just ask directly some of the questions. So we'll see where it goes.
White, by the way, said she was glad that the WNBA reviewed and ultimately punished Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas for her hit on Caitlin Clark.
Thomas spoken. Has anybody asked her a question?
I don't see any quotes from her here, but this is more of a fever story.
Okay.
White does say, though, I was more surprised it wasn't seen by the officials in real time. I think the eye discipline, for lack of a better term, sometimes I feel like all the officials are watching the ball. Nobody's watching the play. You have a player that's down on the ground. Certainly some things are going to happen, so I was very disappointed they didn't see that in real time.
Remember when Leitner stepped on a player? That was college, right?
Yes, in the tournament, I think.
Did he get suspended for that?
He didn't, and wasn't it Kentucky? They were bitter about it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
They thought he should have been kicked out.
Yeah.
I think that was the game he hit the shot.
Was that the game?
I want to say it was.
God, I don't. That might be true. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't want to transpose all those memories.
Right.
We're talking 34 years ago, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the games. Either the shot against UConn the year before, or that shot. I'm not sure. So anyway, that's the update there. You want the Dylan Larkin update, or at least the updated speculation from Andy Strickland.
It's draft night tonight, right?
It is.
We got no pick.
That's where I was going to say.
Yeah.
That was kind of my entree. It's NHL draft night. A lot of Gophers are going to go, but the Wild don't have any picks for a while. And they're all 12 years old anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. Andy Strickland, who is a big-time St. Louis Blues reporter. I think he's on with Russo like every other time that Russo fills in. Tweeted this about 7 hours ago. Gauging opinions, the belief is that Dylan Larkin will end up with Minnesota once everything is settled. And somebody else tweeted just a rube that, because when that stuff happens, I automatically go to Russo because he's the best hockey reporter in the country and covers the Wild better than anybody covers anything, right? With all due respect to everybody involved. And Russo doesn't have much on this today. He wrote about it earlier in the week. We talked about it, but somebody replied to something and said, when Russo is silent, that's when you know something's
Speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes. So who knows? Maybe something gets done tonight. I don't know. But that's what Andy Strickland, noted NHL hockey reporter, says, that his opinion is, after gauging opinions, Dylan Larkin will in fact come to the State of Hockey. Your thoughts?
Well, it'd be huge. In fact, I'm saving some comments from around the world of the National Hockey League from a Russo piece, actually, in which there's a lot of projecting going on of how Larkin is viewed around the league and where and how he might fit into your favorite club. So we'll save those. I don't know what to make of that kind of speculation. I mean, we talk about this a little bit on TV tonight, and I mean, part of it for me is a belief that, I mean, if, for example, there are people who think that the Wolves overpaid to get LaMelo Ball, which I don't think is really true, but if that's what you want to believe, I think we are learning already that the Wild general manager is perfectly capable of overpaying again. Sometimes that's worked out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it hasn't, but he may be in enough desperation mode. Tim Connolly might have texted him and said, hate to see you left out of this thing, man. You got another move in you, big fella?
Or do you think it was like a chess video where he makes a move and then hits the timer?
Yeah.
Then just sends it to Billy G. I'm sure Conley in his phone, it says Billy G. Like, I bet it doesn't say Bill Guerin. I bet it says Billy G.
Has Guerin told us he's ever made meatballs for Tim Connolly?
No, I think it was just for the family.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not sure. Taj Bradley pitches tonight for your Minnesota Twins, who welcome the Colorado Rockies to Target Field. The Twins coming off getting swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers of Anaheim. The Rockies not very good, 32-49. First pitch about 2 hours from now. The fan would love to give you $2,500 as we celebrate America. Our cash contest, the giveaway, the 5 o'clock hour keyword is America. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword America in our national cash contest.
You're listening to Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK...
There's a kind of media taunt that is worthy of discussion today. To follow up on the Dylan Larkin discussion, there's almost something cruel about it, and yet it can be defended slyly with a wink as we're just doing our job. Example, this headline via The Athletic. As Wild continue to pursue Dylan Larkin, NHL voices explain why he could be the missing piece.
It's frustrating.
What a game. What a sly game Michael Russo and Joe Smith are playing. I mean, it's like I said, because if you don't get them, it's a punch in the gut. Maybe even to the heart. Let me read you some of these comments from around the league. They lay out, of course, for example, that what we talked about yesterday. Billy Guerin's in daily touch with the people who matter.
But you know what?
On the other end of that apparent, well, hopeful deal between the two teams. How good is Larkin? Former NHL GM Craig Button. These guys are rare. I like everything about him. Dylan Larkin is a 1B all day long. A terrific two-way center. The second tier of number one centers, a scout says, unidentified. The Minnesota would be pretty good down the middle then.
Man.
So they temper it. They do say, okay, look, he's not upper. He's not a true 1A up the middle. Ray Ferraro, now an ESPN analyst. Very similar to Eck. Now you have two almost the same centers, but if that's the case, and you're playing them both 18 to 21 minutes, now you're looking at McCarron, signed. Pretty soon you're fine at the position. Who's this quote from? Oh, it's still him. I think it's still Ferraro. Yeah, it's different. It's not a traditional 1, 2, 3, 4 center spot. Larkin's a shooter. He's not a creator. So if you're thinking about who he's going to play with, to me, it's not necessarily, he's going to feed Kirill. He's a shooter. He's great on the power play in the bumper, one of the best in the league. In my opinion, along with his competitiveness, those are his strengths. Button. It's like number one defenseman. Every team has a number one. The true ones, what are there, 12, 13 guys? Same thing with the centers. I don't think there's 10. The next group is really, really good, and Dylan fits into that category. So what continues to be described here, it's interesting because on the one hand, it's perfect fit. Fit like a glove. On the other hand, most of the commentary is qualified to the extent they say, yeah, not the best of the best, which goes back to, I think, why you can't give up everything for him. But then on the other hand, you go, well, wait a minute. What's the distinction? Because if you end up...
Right.
What's the alternative? Is there somebody else that you can, that one way or another you can get in the mix? I don't know. I mean, we've said all along that you can't trade, made no sense ever to make Eck a part of this deal, because then you're back to the same position, especially if they're virtually evaluated as being semi-identical. The whole point of it is you want another Eck, at least. You'd like to get one even better, but if you got two Ecks, then if the regular Eck gets hurt again, you feel like you've got an out, right? You have some insurance. You have a bit of a buffer. But, again, I don't know how Guerin, just because this is how these folks describe him doesn't mean Guerin feels the same way. Guerin may like him better, but when you hear he's more of a shooter, he's not really a creator, does that give you pause? Because part of what we want is a creator, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. I just think we need a good player. That's what
centers are supposed to be.
Yeah, but he could also, I'm guessing he can do that well enough.
Okay.
And he gives you the rest of the offense as well. I haven't been watching the all 12 of the Red Wings. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should start now.
Package.
Yeah, this is a good time.
Well, it's World Cup time.
What are the odds? What are the odds that a trade happen? Is there any reason? Well, it can't really be affiliated with the draft because we got no picks in the first round.
No.
For this year.
Right.
Right? So,
right.
Because a lot of times you go, well, it depends on a draft pick tonight.
Yep.
And then that's why some of these moves end up on a night like this. Do we have any indication that something could be happening as soon as tonight? Allegedly, Lavelle is telling people the next 48 hours.
He's hearing it.
He's also the guy who said Mexico was going to be a disaster as a World Cup team. Remember that, boys?
Well, but that was his opinion. Maybe he's got some cigar room steam.
But does he?
Maybe he's got some cigar club smoke.
I'm sorry. I don't trust him as a puckhead. I'll tell him that to his face. I'm not afraid to say it.
Who's in St. Paul more than anybody?
Well, yeah.
Lavelle.
That much?
Oh, he's in St. Paul all the time.
Yeah.
Allery's
Well, yeah.
That's where they hang out.
Who's they? The hockey community?
The hockey community?
In Allery's?
No, I was going to say,
I had no idea.
Dan Brooks' cigar club.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of smoke over there.
Yeah.
Maybe he saw Bill Guerin and Craig Leopold on a walk like the Rubes saw Tim Conley and Finchie on the walk over, was it the Stone Arch? Well, that would have been St. Paul. Maybe it was the Hennepin Avenue Bridge. And maybe he saw the two of them on a walk.
Maybe he did.
I don't know.
We'll see, yeah. I don't know. I just have this funny feeling.
That's an out-of-nowhere opinion from Lavelle.
Well, and that's why I don't trust it. For me, it's almost like, I got to make a splash here. My name hasn't been out there for a while. So
you think he's chasing clout?
I'm going to throw something out there. I got nothing to lose. If it doesn't happen, nobody's going to remember. But if it's true, we go, hey, Lavelle, he called it. But maybe you're right. Maybe he's got some kind of inside source.
Lavelle clickbait. I don't
know. Pillbox Tavern, Stogies on Grand.
Yeah. Zamboni's.
Yeah.
Tim Mahoney works over there. It's his guy from the Loon. There's a Loon in St. Paul.
Yeah.
Lavelle has his ear to the streets of St. Paul more than most of us.
Well, that doesn't say much.
Well, he also lives in Invergrove Heights.
Yeah, that's true.
You just shoot up 52, 35E, you're right there. I'm defending Lavelle's St. Paul bona fides.
Conley, go get him, Bill. Show us what you can do. Channeling a little Jack Morris there. Just to clarify, Brett from Invergrove Heights, speaking of, Leitner did receive a technical foul for stepping on a Kentucky player in the 1992 regional final game where he later did hit the game-winning shot.
Okay, but I remember watching the 30 for 30, and they were very bitter.
That he didn't get tossed?
That he didn't get tossed, the Kentucky side of it, because he probably should have been.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a flagrant, too. That's a Wemby.
The problem is, what year was that, 92?
92.
It was a different game then where a lot more is tolerated.
That's true. That's true.
And we weren't 24/7 calling that stuff out quite the same way. Well, with Leitner, everything was called out. That's certainly true. U.S. Open at minus 250 versus Bosnia-Herzegovina. Does that sound right to you? That's from Trail Reference.
Yeah, and that's a prohibitive favorite.
Prohibitive?
Yeah.
So he better win.
This is the first time they've ever been here, Bosnia, to the knockout round. Not that we have this great soccer tradition of deep runs, but they are definitely the favorite.
Perhaps I missed this in the show, and another texter informed you already, but on 494 in Woodbury, there is a digital billboard that says, "Beware LaMelo driving." I believe this was an Underdog billboard. Greg from St. Paul, do we know about that? Is that real? It's a good line.
I shudder to even say the best tweet of the whole thing. Have you seen that one?
No.
With Rudy, Ant, and LaMelo?
No. Is it not clean?
It's not. It's clean.
Too vicious?
I'll just say it. What the hell? It's Friday at 5:30.
Yeah.
Maybe this will lead us into summer hours. Rudy, Ant, LaMelo. COVID test, paternity test, driving test.
That's pretty well played.
It's pretty good.
Well, somebody has already said that the word is already out that he's not bringing his cars to Minnesota. Has he spoken yet? Has LaMelo spoken publicly?
I think just LeVar. I just think his dad.
We got to play that later, the LeVar.
Can we play it? Is it clean? I didn't even watch it.
We'll have to double check. I think it is clean. It's over the top, but I don't recall it being a lot of bad words. But we'll have to double. We certainly would have to check. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to speak up. What's he waiting for? Well, if nothing, nobody can speak up.
Nobody
I
can
keep
speak
forgetting
up.
that nothing's official yet.
Yeah,
I forgot about that part. So is that the 6th? We got to wait till
July 6th.
July 6th. January 6th would be a really long time.
And an infamous day.
That's also true. Let's get, by the way, that's good foreshadowing because there's a little bit of news there, and then there's your guy back at it, one of your favorites. But do we really want to get the Sharks and Jets going?
No, I didn't even want to take the joke. I didn't even want to take the joke.
Yeah, that's a good. Well, it's two ways to look at it. Like you said, if there's fewer people listening, then maybe there'll be less pushback. Let's come back and chat with the old puckhead Lavelle Neal III. Does he have some dirt on some big announcement involving Dylan Larkin this weekend? We'll find out next.
You're listening to Barrero on the
cookies. I feel like now I got a bucket in my gut. Now I've eaten. How many would you guess I've eaten since 258? Because the first one was at 2. So counting the first one at 258, how many do you think I have, in undisciplined fashion, consumed?
You're not a Minnesotan, because if you were a Minnesotan, I would say your number's 2.5, and you're about to go grab the other half to make it 3. I'm going to say you've eaten a full 3 cookies.
God, that's exactly right.
Yeah. I know 3. You. We've worked together a long time.
I've eaten 3, counting the one right before the show. I actually feel good about the fact I haven't eaten more than 3.
You got to bring them home, though.
No, because then I'm going to eat all of them.
We don't have to eat them all tonight, but they'll stay.
I'm not good at pacing them out. That's the problem.
Okay.
There's enough of a feeling of fullness that I don't think I can handle a 4th. Before the end of the show.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
how many have I eaten of the chocolate chunk?
I'm going to say the chocolate chunk, you've had 2.5.
I've had 2.
2.
But I'm thinking about a 3rd. You just reminded me they were there.
And you ain't going to half it?
No, no one's here. There's no reason to be the Minnesota modest, so I'm just going to take half of it and leave it there for somebody.
Lavelle Neal III, what is your favorite cookie?
Simple guy, man. I'm a chocolate chip guy. You make a good chocolate chip cookie. maybe some pecans. My sister makes some with pecans and chocolate chips. That's really good. But I've never been like an oatmeal raisin guy. I've never been, all these other different types of cookies. As a kid, it was Oreos.
Oreo cookies tough to beat. Yep.
Mom would get mad because she'd go in the cupboards and find out that half the Oreos had already been eaten, and she just went to the grocery store 2 days before, and she knows that we walk in during the day, I'm just going to have a cookie. Then Leslie walks in, I'm just going to grab one cookie. And then Larry walks in, I'm going to grab one cookie. 2 days, the cookies are half gone, and Mom's mad. In those days. Those are the good old days.
Well, I can tell you how the quickest way for little Danny Barrero to get in trouble at the house when I was growing up, and that would be eating too many Oreo cookies and then drinking out of, and we had back then, it was a different world then. In our fridge, we had a big water bottle, and we all drank out of it. And when you're young, sometimes you're not really good about not letting some of the crumbs end up in the water.
Oh, God.
And so there'd be remnants of Oreo in there. And so then that immediately they would know it was me because I was the only one eating Oreos at that point because I was the only kid in the family early. And that was not good. That was rather an embarrassing situation. But Oreos are tough to beat. There's no question about that. I don't eat them anymore. Do you still eat them? Do you still eat them today?
No, I don't eat cookies. I know I might look like a cookie, but I don't eat cookies very, very much. I'm not a big candy sweets guy.
Yeah.
Cake, pies, cookies. It's not me. My dessert is a bourbon.
So your guiltiest food pleasure that you probably shouldn't eat as often as you do, but you just can't help it. If it's not a cookie, is it a food? Is it like a main course?
Oh, man. There's so many candidates.
Well, can you narrow it down at all, or?
Deep dish pizza.
Oh, yeah. Hard to argue with that.
That's a good one.
If you're asking me if I'm on death row and I got to order a last meal, there's going to be a slice of deep dish in it.
By the way, are you I think we've talked about this before. I grew up, at least once we got to the burbs, Chicago burbs, a Lou Malnati's guy. I mean, insanely Lou Malnati's guy, like in high school. But now, isn't there, and I don't think I've ever eaten pizza there, isn't there a Pequot's Pizza that's famous in Chicago, in the city?
Dan, let me tell you this. Gino's East was like the big jam when I was in high school and college. Lou Malnati's came in later. And in between that, there was like Eduardo's and Pizzeria Uno and then Pizzeria Dewey. And they were like around the corner from each other in downtown Chicago, which was weird. In the 20-something years that I've been away from Chicago, the pizza game has diversified and exploded. The top pizzas in Chicago, I don't recognize the names. I remember seeing Pequot's, but Pequot's was in the middle of a list of 20, and I didn't recognize any of the names. There's no Giordano's listed.
Wow.
No Lou Malnati's, no Gino's anymore.
Interesting.
The pizza game has just gotten stronger and stronger there.
Have you ever had in your traveling career Noble Roman's Pizza?
No, but I know of it.
It was big in Bloomington at Indiana University when I was in college, and it was also what do you call it? The Detroit style, like more of a rectangle than a circle pizza, and the flavor was outstanding. It was very distinct. They had the best pizzas, whether you like them or not. You can recognize them, right? There's something different about the flavor that distinguishes them from the others. You say, well, that's Lou Malnati's, or that's Pequot's, or whatever the case may be, or that's Noble Roman's.
What bummed me out? My favorite pizza place in Champaign, Illinois, when I was at the University of Illinois, was Gaardsy.
Okay.
And Gaardsy had a pizza slice called the Gut Buster, which was basically the kitchen sink.
Everything. Put everything on it, huh?
And it was fantastic. 2 years ago, and I went out. Gaardsy was there, but I covered the Illinois game against the Gophers in Champaign a couple years ago. The game the Gophers won, actually, and I found that there was still a Gaardsy somewhere in Champaign. And I went and had a Gut Buster just for old time's sake, and it wasn't the same.
That hurts.
Those moments always bum me out.
Yeah.
When you remember something that you love, like that was 20, 25 years ago, and then you try it again and the taste just isn't the same. And I was really disappointed because when you talk about flavors, you could taste the flavors of your youth, and that pizza, my first 2 years in college at Illinois, definitely was on my mind, and I was just bummed that they had did something to the recipe, did something different. Maybe my taste buds changed.
Yeah, that's possible. Or sometimes you build it up as you remember it this way, and maybe it wasn't that great. It was just the right time and the right moment. I don't know. It's hard to say. Or maybe even the chef changes, or they get a little bit cheap on the ingredients. It could be all kinds of things. Do you are you? I may have done you a disservice earlier in the show, and I don't want to. I don't want to run from it.
Again?
You think I've done that frequently? Well, maybe I have, but I want to be honest about it. I want to run from it. I don't want you to hear from anybody else. Somebody had texted earlier saying that you had laid out, I don't know, it was via X or on the radio, that this weekend, be ready when it comes to the Wild and Larkin. And I speculated that was just you looking for attention more than you really had some significant steam to indicate something was imminent. Was I being unfair to you?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's the week of the NHL draft, so this is a time where like a lot of trades are made, and I know the Wild and Detroit's been talking all week. They've been talking all week, and based on some of the people I know who are close to the team, they've been making progress. So I'm just putting two and two together here that this is a big weekend because of the draft. Now, I know the Wild doesn't have a first-round pick, but you never know if a third team's involved. They got to get assets from another team or whatever. But if I was a Wild fan, I'd be on trade watch this weekend because this would be the time is right. The moment's right for something like this to happen. And Billy's trying to swing for the fences again. That there's no doubt in that. That's been going on all week.
Gaardsy, you want to apologize to me now or later? Because all he's saying is, logically, this would be the weekend. Not that he got any steam at the cigar bar in downtown St. Paul. He's just basically making it up.
I had more faith in Lavelle. I didn't think he was. Lavelle.
I'm going to tell you this: if I don't use according to my sources, when I'm on the radio. Now, if I'm writing a story and I have to quote sources, I will. But I'm not going to out sources or mention that I'm going to sources. But have I been talking to people? Yes, okay. I'll say that much.
Okay, all right. Well, now you're telling a different story. You just completely reversed it. You did a 180. That's fine. Whatever it takes. Are you guaranteed? That by the end of the weekend,
I'm not guaranteed. I'm just saying, just be on alert because it could go down. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Do you feel like Guerin now might feel he's on the clock, given the other, I think, of two general managers who has cojones the size of church bells, made another risky but very big and bold move with Lonzo that Billy Guerin feels like, well, we're kind of like outdoing each other, and so it's kind of my move, so I have to answer Tim Conley's latest.
Well, maybe they're smoking cigars in the same lounge.
Possibly.
Yeah. and they're having discussions there, and maybe this stuff is coming up. But we knew going into both these teams' off seasons that something had to be done, right?
Yeah.
The Wolves had to figure out a way to bring in some more talent. They needed to figure out a way to find a point guard, and they got one. Now it creates another hole that has to be dealt with, and we'll see how Conley goes about dealing with that. But as soon as the Wild were eliminated from the postseason, actually during the postseason, we were all sitting there. Everybody was sitting there going, man, they got to get another center. They got to find another center, and I mentioned, and I looked it up, May 27th, I wrote a column. I said, my choice to be Dylan Larkin. And I got into a Pat McElady in the text message exchange. He's like, he's never going to come to Minnesota. And I was like, they're not winning there. And then I said, let's see what happens if they go into the season and get off to a bad start. Larkin may say this is it. Well, apparently, Larkin had already said this is it because he was at the Olympics and wanted to go medal. He's tied with Quinn Hughes, and let it be known he liked the move. So Steve Yzerman has to make the move. He's talking trash now about if I don't get the right deal, I'm not going to trade Larkin. I'm going to tell him to get ready to come to camp. We'll see that. We'll see what happens there, and have a disgruntled guy showing up in camp and causing issues in the locker room. So I think we knew that both organizations were challenged with making a significant offseason move, and yeah, it's pretty interesting that they both could happen in the same week. It's like, okay, Conley's made his move. Where's yours, Billy? And it's pretty fun for a sports fan to see.
Huge.
These guys. I think Brian Windhorst was on ESPN yesterday, and he was talking about, one GM texted him after the Ball trade and said, Tim Connolly's a riverboat gambler, and he's made big moves since he's been here, and he's continuing to do so. And Billy, once he got out from under those contracts, he's made moves too. So it's pretty neat if you're a supporter of both these franchises that you have GMs with this type of moxie.
And what's more inspiring, more motivating for the average ink-stained wretch than that kind of approach? Because it doesn't guarantee it's going to be a good move, right? But it guarantees a hell of a story, right? And a hell of a narrative to follow, to see where the thing goes and to debate whatever. I mean, this is dream material for ink-stained wretches like I was and you are.
Yeah, and the timing is great too, because if it's not for this, we've just got Twins baseball and the Lynx.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there planning on my next 2 weeks of work, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of running out of stuff to write about here. It was great when there was like tournaments going on and postseason this and playoff game that, so this definitely helps fill whatever void some people may have on your sports buffet. This was pretty cool stuff now. In addition to the draft, you've got seismic activity possibly in for the Wild in the transaction wire.
Name me, and I know you wrote some about this, I think yesterday or today. It's online now at StarTribune.com. Name me the player who, in a best-case scenario, profits the most from LaMelo Ball's arrival.
I think when you make a move like this and have a player who's gifted his ball, that a lot of people are going to benefit. But I think Ant still is number one.
Exactly.
I wrote about Jaden McDaniels because I think the situation is right for him to take his game to another level.
Yep.
But Ant, as I pointed out, teams that were blitzing him, I'm using Chris Finch's language about double teaming. But when teams are blitzing Ant, he could kick out. And I've talked about this on your show before. They just needed a guy who could bust a jumper when he has to pass out of a double team or gets trapped in the paint when he's trying to drive. And Ball can do that. Yeah, he may be a volume shooter, but he can still hit a few threes here. And the pressure of not having the responsibility off his shoulders to bring the ball up, initiate the offense, things that he can do, but it's not the best. It's not the best things he does.
Not the best usage of Ant all the time.
Exactly. I just think that, with Ball next to him, Ant's going to be free to score even more next year. And for a guy like Jay McDaniels, who's, you can look at the numbers, he's developed a little bit of a mid-range game, and he attacks the basket more, and his three-point shooting percentage was the second best of his career last year. He's another guy too. If I cut hard to the basket, LaMelo's going to put the ball in my hands. I'm going to have another jam. That just raises everybody's game. We're seeing that with the Lynx and Olivia Moms, because they know if they run the offense and listen to their coaches and listen to the plan, that Olivia is going to get them the ball in prime places to score, man. And that's what the Wolves are going to enjoy with LaMelo Ball in-house. I just can't wait to see what car he's driving and what he's dressed like on opening night.
You got to get a driver, man. Leave the cars at home. Don't even tempt the gods to mess with it. I mean, that's
he's gotten to a couple wrecks too, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's had all. Yeah, I think there have been some misadventures there for sure.
But when your wardrobe matches the color of the cars that you own, that's just next level stuff
that you wear. Yeah, that's another issue.
Yeah.
Well, here, the Miles is the perfect analogy. We talk about this on TV tonight on Enough Said. That look, I get some of the hesitation on LaMelo because he's been in the league more than a minute, right? Unlike, let's say, Olivia Miles, but. That seriousness of purpose, whether he can stay tethered to basketball reality and seriousness now that he's with a team that wants to play for stuff. Charlotte wasn't playing for anything until last year. Actually, they had a better year, but they didn't really even get into the postseason. But that's what I'm asking people to do. Go out and study Miles. Watch her. If you go to a game, just keep your eye on her, or anyway, on TV, because she almost always has the ball. And see the galvanizing effect that a ball handler who can do the variety of things she can do can have on everybody. That's the vision here with LaMelo. Now, will it be realized? Will he stay consistent enough? We don't know. But he's got that kind of skill, for God's sake. That's undeniable. And it opens things. It completely opens up the floor offensively. It creates mismatches. It creates space. It creates openings. And it makes everybody's job, in theory, on that end of the court easier. That's the attraction that I just don't understand how people can't see that aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's what Wolves fans haven't seen point guard play like that since who? Who was the last one? Rubio?
Rubio, probably.
Put Rubio in that group?
Yeah. Because Conley was a different
he had high
guard.
Go ahead.
Conley was Conley was very steady and important, but he wasn't that kind of a point guard. That wasn't his strength.
What about Sam Cassell?
No, I view him more of a scorer, although LaMelo is obviously a scorer. I think this guy's a much better natural passer than Cassell was. Cassell could pass, but I think this guy's much better natural passer.
What about Stephon?
Well, at his best, Stephon is as good as any of them, but that didn't last, right? That's the problem there.
Right.
How about
that broke Flip's heart.
How about Stop and Pop?
Flip invested a lot of coaching and effort to get Stephon to the star level, and then for Steph to leave, that crushed Flip.
How about your guy, Terrell Brandon, Stop and Pop?
He's your guy.
Oh, that's right.
You were in love with Terrell Brandon.
No, I was the opposite. I was in love with Chauncey Billups.
Oh, yeah.
We had him, and we let him go.
Yep. Brandon, first of all, he was probably the nicest guy among the point guards we just talked about.
Yeah, that's true.
I always enjoyed talking to him because that was back when I was occasionally backing up Steve Ashburner on the Wolves beat when he was there. And, of course, old Stop and Pop was part of the post Pedro Martinez vote when I was walking back to the media room before the start of the third quarter to get a pen, and Anthony Peeler comes out and says, "Dang, Lavelle, everybody wants to know why you didn't vote for Pedro." And then
is that what he said?
Terrell Brandon's like, "Huh?
Yeah,
what?"
That's funny. I never heard that story.
And then Brandon is right behind him, and Terrell goes, "Lavelle, I love what you did because I'm a Yankees fan." I'm like, "This is right before the start of the third quarter." I'm like, "What are y'all doing?"
Interesting observation by, I'm guessing, one of Fallness has about 7 burner text line numbers. It sounds like a Fallness text. Is the ball really in Billy G's court, or is Conley still feebly trying to match the Quinnesota deal? Shots fired, Lavelle.
Quinn Hughes is considered at least the second best defenseman in the league.
It's undeniable.
Ball's not.
No.
He's not top 5 point guard,
not
I would
yet.
say.
I'm not giving up on him. He's only 24.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But you're right. That's the box. There's no arguing with the fact that of these two guys, Quinn Hughes has gotten the most influential player. Let's not forget, though, Rudy was very influential. As limited as he is offensively, he turned a bad defensive team into a perennial top 10 defensive team, sometimes top 5, top 1.
And the Wild gave up more for Hughes than the Wolves gave up for
that's true.
Ball. Because basically it was Nas, number 1, and 3 number 2.
That's correct.
And they're swapping 3 years.
The swaps are meaningless. People still out there, Lavelle, and you need to educate them. There are actually people out there who think the Wolves traded away 4 number ones. That's part of the problem. It's insane.
Yeah, and because here's the thing too: if this works out and the Wolves are like in the semifinals again, or Final Four, or make the NBA Finals, that's a 28th, 29th pick.
Exactly.
And they'll end up keeping it because the other team, the Hornets, will probably keep their own pick.
Exactly correct. Yeah, there's not going to be much swapping, I wouldn't think. What's the Sunday column?
I'm filling in for Bobby Nightingale covering the Twins.
We're playing
Twins Rockies. The emotional return of Eduard Julian and Willie Castro.
Aren't they putrid? The team?
Yeah, they still are. Yeah. I mean, they're not as putrid as they were a year ago, but they're still pretty bad. They got one decent pitcher. I don't know if he's pitching in the series or not. I'm actually on the Hazel team right now, so I've been in golf mode all afternoon.
Is that right?
But I know they got one pitcher that's figured out how to pitch in Colorado, I think. So I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, so a little Rockies Twins action this weekend.
Did you lose?
Right before.
Did you lose? Did you lose yourself in Ohtani's eyes?
No, I did not. But he made you want to not miss a beat because he hit the second pitch of the game out of the park in game 1. If Ohtani doesn't exist, the Twins win 2 out of those 3 games.
Yeah, good point.
Because they lost 2-1.
Yeah.
Thanks in part to Ohtani's early homer. And then game 3, he was pitching, and they actually scored a couple runs off of him, but he shut the door on them, and they ended up losing that one.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't believe how many Dodgers supporters were in the stands. And I think they drew 100,000 for those 3 games. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, good crowds, and there was heavy. I mean, that's the classic case of a road draw does still exist from time to time, and that was it. That was let's face it, that was the story. I don't think there were a lot of people who came, hey, Twins are playing better, or let's go see. It's a nice night for baseball, and let's see, baseball immortality.
Well, they're going to see music immortality tonight because Ludacris is playing after the game.
Is that right? Ludacris, you say? Huh. Interesting. Kessler was you weren't happen to be at the Earth, Wind & Fire Lionel Richie concert, were you? Kessler was there, and then Lionel Richie apparently fell ill.
John Bream wrote about that. Yeah, I read that. That was concerning.
Yeah,
he got lightheaded. He was seen sitting down on the stage.
Yeah.
Once he started getting lighthearted, I think after that last song that they just abruptly ended. That's tough. Lionel Richie's got to be, how old is he?
77
in the 60s.
77.
Ooh, yeah, you got to go watch out for that. And then how about anybody? Do you know anybody who went to the Dave Matthews Band concert that got rained out?
Gaardsy went.
Did he?
No, he thought about it.
I should have. Yeah. I should have bought tickets because the prices were plummeting.
But then it got
because of the weather.
I thought it got lightninged out, or was there something controversial about it? There were people bitter, like that.
Yeah.
Were they alleging it didn't need to be called?
Yes. Well, they were mad about the water kind of pooling up, and then there was a leak in a roof.
That's not good.
No, I'm mad. I should have bought tickets because they were cheap, because it got rescheduled, and then I could have just done it then.
It did get rescheduled.
Yeah, it got rescheduled for August 31st, I think.
But you didn't do it?
No. It's a regret of mine.
It's your band.
It's one of them,
you grew up on, or one of them.
Yes, one of them, for sure.
Yeah.
It hurts.
What's the last concert you attended, Lavelle?
Oh, boy.
Has it been a while?
Well, I got talked into, this was pre-COVID, so 2018. I got talked into going to Rod Stewart and Cyndi Lauper at what is now Grand Casino Arena.
Okay.
Because my buddy had access to a suite, so we had a suite. It was actually Leopold's suite because I think it was a Sunday night concert, and I was mad, and we had a TV on with the football game, and security came storming into the suite because I guess it was the only suite. They could turn off every TV and every other suite except that one. And we had a football game on. They came in and ordered us to turn off the television. So, but it was funny because Rod Stewart kicked soccer balls out to the crowd. I guess he does that normally.
He does. He's a soccer guy from way back, yeah.
Yeah. And then Lauper came out and claimed she had Rhoda's and Nicewa. She pronounced Nicewa.
Nicewa? Close enough.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Well, how long ago was this?
About 2017, 2018. Oh, does Joe Bonamassa count? The blues guitarist?
Oh, you're a big Bonamassa guy. Is he the guy who plays like 9-necked guitars with like 8 levels and shows off all the time?
No, not him. Not him. That's I can't remember. Is that Robert Charr? That may be someone else.
Oh, okay.
But I saw him downtown Minneapolis a few years ago. It was hilarious because they wouldn't let him park his bus next to the theater like he used to always to, and he came out for the first half an hour and just ripped Mayor Fry in between songs. It was hilarious.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I'm actually going to see Kenny Wayne Shepherd in August at Mystic Lake. So,
okay.
he's one of my favorite musicians as well. Yeah.
Have you yet issued a formal apology to the nation of Mexico?
No, I have not.
What are you waiting for?
I never will. And I never will.
You basically said they're the most overrated team in the World Cup, and they haven't lost yet.
No, they haven't, but I detest Mexico soccer. I don't like the way they play. When they lead, they start flop. They flop worse than any other team that flops. They've gotten away with cheap shots through the years against the United States players. I haven't forgotten all this stuff. Cuauhtémoc Blanco, going back to his days, Carlos Hermosillo, Luis Hernandez, and all those other jackasses from Mexico. No, that's my Green Bay Packers of international soccer there. So I want them to suffer and lose all the time. I want them to have come down with diarrhea and pleurisy in the middle of games and have to walk off.
That seems a bit excessive, but okay.
Calm down.
Do you believe did we blow our Ubuntu not winning a game that admittedly we did not need to win? Did we lose a little of our spark, our elan? I'm talking, of course, about the U.S. team last night.
If Turkey doesn't score on the final kick of the game, no one's worried about this. It would have been a 2-2 tie.
Yes.
About 10 of the players who were responsible for the first 2 games were not in the lineup yesterday either. So I think the coach I think the coach's decisions were prudent. He held back the guys who have yellow cards, so they wouldn't get a second yellow card and get a suspension and miss the next game. And he rested other people. I was a little surprised he brought in Pulisic in the second half, but that just proves that he's healthy and good to go. So it's now time to prepare for Edin Dzeko, 40-year-old Edin Dzeko, and Bosnia-Herzegovina. I'm all ready for it. We'll get out of the round of 32. Yes. We get to the round of 16.
I'm calling this game loser-proof. Is that excessive?
They're a little hard to break down. Once you break them, if you can break them down, in the way the United States handled Paraguay with breaking them down, they gave me hope and optimism that they can do that to Bosnia, Team Bosnia. So it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a great moment for this country, getting into the knockout stage. And I think they're going to win this game and get to the round of 16. That's where they may end up running into a team like Spain. You're Spaniards, by the way, because they're on the other side of they're on the other side of the bracket with a collision with the United States if they both win out.
You're getting ripped on the text line.
Who cares?
If Ohtani doesn't exist, the Twins win 2 of 3. Did I just hear that correctly? I'd say if that isn't Twins Apologist 101, I don't know what is. If the Yankees didn't exist during the Mauer years, the Twins would have won like 6 World Series.
Well, that's a whole team. First of all, I'm talking about one player who was influential in Game 1 and Game 3.
I'm just saying the people have spoken. Don't blame me. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not killing the messenger here.
Okay.
If he's using Yankee comparison, I mean, come on. What was that thinking? Egg gal? Was that her?
No, it was not in this case. By the way, what's the father's ball's name? LeVar? Are you going to be the first one? Somebody's got to be the first writer to get to LeVar for that column.
He's mellowed out recently. I think he just got divorced. So I shouldn't say this because I don't know if it's. I heard, I haven't read it, that because of diabetes, he may have had a foot amputated or something. I haven't. I didn't.
We'll do some insight.
Someone mentioned on the radio or something like that, but he's not as bombastic as
Well,
as he used to be. So he may just sit there and chill with A-Rod, during games. I was more worried about John Morant coming here with his father, because his father doesn't know how to sit his ass down in the chair.
Well, we're going to find there's a new video of the father acting rather bombastic again. We'll have to see if we need to clean it up before we put it on the air. We got to go. We're very late. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk next week. Oh, no, we won't talk next week. Next Friday, we're off because that's the holiday. We'll talk soon.
Maybe Thursday.
Is that the 4th?
Well, that's the 3rd, but that's the legal holiday. I'm off, so.
Oh, is it best of all over the station on that Friday?
My guess is a lot of that. I don't know how much.
We have a little best of and then a World Cup match right in the middle of the show.
There you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Lavelle Neal III.
Bumper to Bumper with Dan Barrero on The Fan.
From the...
All right, we have a short window here to play the audio from a video offered up by LaMelo Ball's dad, who you may recall, seemed to be rather bombastic, then kind of more recently has been in retreat, or at least I don't think there's been as much public about him. Well, he has noticed that one of his kids, has been traded to the Timberwolves, and he says, basically, it's a great move by the Wolves, but Tim Connelly needs to do even more if he wants to fully realize the potential of what this big trade represents.
Minnesota Timberwolves. Y'all did the coldest move in the game. You wouldn't got that Melo. Yes, but here's the thing. Let me give you the recipe. You got to get the other 2 ball boys. You get the other 2 ball boys, it will be the most watched team ever in the NBA. Trust me when I tell you. You don't think I'm just talking? No, I'm not. Melo can't win it by himself, but I tell you, with his brothers, I guarantee y'all a championship. The chemistry and the goddamn speed of the game. I never taught my boys to play by themselves, but together, you can't beat them. And with A-Rod, you already a superstar, so you know what to do. You would take a chance. So go get them boys. You can get Lonzo damn near for nothing. You can get Jello damn near for nothing. Guess what? Coming off the bench, starting, team chemistry, morale in the locker room, whatever you want. Wherever them ball boys together, can't lose. You want the championship? Get them other 2, and I guarantee a championship. Trust me when I tell you.
So there you have it. Who are the other balls that he thinks Tim Connelly needs to bring into the fold as well?
Well, Lonzo, he was the original.
Lonzo, by the way, I coveted several times potentially for this team.
Yeah.
Because he's a damned good point guard. He's not anywhere near as explosive as his brother, but very good, and I think not quite as controversial, but he couldn't stay healthy, right? He's had some significant injuries that have basically ended his career. And the other ball is a singer, is that correct?
Yes.
The other ball kid?
LiAngelo. Yes.
Is that his stage name or is that his first name?
No, that's his name. Jello is,
Jello is
what they call him.
And what? So is he sing? Is he?
Yeah. Okay. He's currently signed to Def Jam Recordings.
Okay.
I don't know where he's touring.
So is this Dad's shot across the bow that we don't quite know what we've signed up for, and he wants to reemerge a little bit, and that he will be in the front row this fall or winter
next to Rosen,
mocking, the opposing team members trying to start trouble a la Ja Morant's dad? That's not where we're headed, are we?
No, I'd prefer like Karl Anthony Towns' dad. You just go and throw T-shirts into the crowd.
Yeah,
I think I'm all for the parents being there.
Yeah. Just a little bit more restrained?
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Whose dad was it that went after Giannis?
That was
that Halliburton's dad?
That was Halliburton's dad. That's exactly right. Yeah. That's a good memory.
He got banished to the suites?
Yeah, he basically stood there and taunted him. Yeah, on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I just want Cat's dad. Just throw the T-shirts.
That wasn't a good look at all.
No, it was terrible.
Terrible look, for sure. All right, we'll wrap up and remind you what you missed. Very busy show. Very good soccer conversation today. We'll give you some details next.
You're listening to Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY traffic.
Bumper to Bumper show wrap.
Between 4 and about 4:30, we had a virtually snark-free conversation about the World Cup. It was, I think, interesting, certainly informative, but also entertaining. I don't think it was like, watching paint dry or listening to paint dry, if you can listen to what that sounds like. But your guy, Jamie Watson, joined the program. Once upon a time, Minnesota United's own. He's moved on. He doesn't live here any longer. Now doing World Cup analysis, and he gave us a great half hour on his own thoughts regarding the coach, the team, the circumstances, the history, the whole bit. Also want to thank Ben Gessling, who gave us a few minutes on the, moving around of the shuffling, shall we say, going on in the Vikings front office today. And, of course, Lavelle joined at 5:30. The beautiful thing about the trade is what we talk about on this show for years, is that